Good. So far, I hope that people that have gone through the various models so far, some people are in 4 models, 6, the seat models, the third models. That is good. Good work so far. And I hope that the models that you have gone through so far, they are helping you lay a professional foundation that can make you or enable you to become a, a professional standard trainer. And I want to, like I said in one of the modules, let me tell you something. As long if you are able to understand the core framework of what it takes to be a professional trainer, that is the basis that validates the knowledge you have and the experience you have. Because you make money from training as a trainer from two major things. You make money from training as a trainer from two major things. The first one is what? Your knowledge. The things that you know, maybe the things that you studied in schools, the things that you know and you do, you can turn that and become a trainer. Or let's say you know how to develop self-confidence. You can become a personal development trainer based on what you know on how to develop self-confidence. You get the concept? Then you also make money from trainer as a trainer based on the experience that you have acquired over the years. Like there are some people, if you have, let me say, for example, Mama Dora Shea, her experience in media and what she does and all of that, she can now use it and begin to train. Or for example, Madame Effiti, she can use her experience. Or for example, Beltian, who is into selling of phones, he has experience in selling electronics. He can decide and start organizing sales training for people who want to venture into electronic sales. He can organize sales trainings for people who are in electronic sales, but they don't know how to use social media. Like he is very good at using social media to sell his phones and other electronics. So he can decide that is experience that he has developed over time doing something. So he can convert that experience into a training and begin to sell that training. You see, but you can only do that effectively when you successfully go through these 21 models on becoming a professional certified trainer. Okay, good. So I want to get some questions now. If you have a question, you can raise up your hand or you can type in the chat box and you ask your question. And I want to emphasize that I can only handle questions here on our Zoom session. So if you come here, you don't ask questions, and you're trying to type me on WhatsApp, I can take days to reply, and I may not reply it properly the way I can reply on a live session like this. So avoid I'm doing that. So again, the purpose of our live sessions is for you to ask me questions. You have gone through the recorded sessions. Some of you are in model 6, model 5, model 4, model 3, all of that. What are some things that I mentioned in the models that you didn't understand? Or what are some things that I mentioned in the models and you don't know how to implement, how to practically implement it? You don't know how to make it relatable, because this is a practical training. It's a training that I expect that when people are done, they should be able to get to work immediately. Towards the last day of your program, I'm going to send final work that you guys are going to do and submit to us. Like, for example, everybody must submit at least one curriculum that they have created. Everybody must submit that. So you need to make sure that you're going through carefully and making sure you're learning the practical stuff. So what did I mention in any of the modules that you have completed that you have some confusion or you don't know how to practice it as a trainer in what you're doing? Now is the time to ask the questions. Let's go. Madam Dora Shea, I see your hand up. Do you have a question? You can unmute yourself and ask. Let's see.
Well, can you hear me, Doctor?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yeah. This hand has not been raised just now. The hand was up at the start of the meeting, and it was just to greet the participants and the facilitator. Or it was just an indication that for once I'm home at 7 and I'm participating
Awesome.
in this
Good.
course. And
Good.
I'm really looking forward to learning so many things from this course, because this is the first time I'm actually taking part in one of your courses.
Okay.
So
Have you started going through the courses on the learning platform?
yeah, I'm just still at the beginning.
Okay, you
But
started
I'll
with
go. I'll take,
model 1, right?
yeah.
All right, that's good. That's
I'm
good.
still in model 1.
That's good. No
But
problem. So,
I'll use the weekend. I'll use the weekend to try and catch up, because
good.
this time around I'm not traveling. I'm not going anywhere. So I will just concentrate.
I understand. That's good. So yeah, you can
Yes.
create
But
time this weekend and complete as many as you can.
yes, but I'm really excited,
Awesome.
learning. Yes, and getting to meeting other people through this platform.
Absolutely. Yes, they are great people. And please, as Mama Dora has mentioned, please connect in the WhatsApp groups. You can go, you can inbox somebody. There's already a common platform. Just tell the person that you are connecting from the facilitators platform and you want to network. There are so many great people on the platform. All right. Thank you so much, Mama. There is a question. I'll come to that. Lisa, ask your question. Okay, I don't know if Lisa is getting us. All right, there's a question here. What is the difference between workshop, seminar, conference, and a master class? Yes, there's a very important question. And this is something that many people get to confuse. Many people get to confuse a lot. Now, let me start from the end. A master class, first of all, a master class is supposed to be led by somebody who is considered a master at something. And a master class can be a combination of a workshop and a seminar structure. But it is determined a lot by the person who is leading it, a master. And a master in a professional setting is somebody who has been able to practice what they are teaching at the highest level for at least 10 years and above. That means you have experience in something and you have been practicing that thing at the highest level as a like you are recognized as an expert, as a thought leader in your field, and you must have practiced that thing. You have high level of mastery at that thing. Okay, then you are qualified to organize a master class. And one thing about a master class is, depending on what the master wants to teach at that time, you can create the best framework to deliver your master class, right? Like sometimes for me, there are master classes I do that runs throughout the weekend. Sometimes I do master classes that runs for 12 hours from morning to night. It all depends. And sometimes they are mixed with workshops. They are mixed with role play scenarios. They are mixed with all types of stuff, right? Then conference is more of a very large event. This is in conferences, you get to hear of keynote speakers a lot, right? Conferences have mostly keynote speakers. People just come and deliver papers, presentations, keynote addresses, and there may be few questions, but it's just a large gathering of people coming together per se, and mostly, and the communication is mostly one-sided from the speakers or the invited guests. That is a conference structure, right? Then we have seminar. Seminar is smaller, and seminar is done for information purposes, right? Which is smaller, but seminars can also be big, but it's strictly to inform people about something. Like, for example, people like network marketing companies, they do what they call seminars, where they present products and inform people about whatever is done, business seminars, right? Then workshop, which is the main thing of it all. The greatest transformation happens in workshop. And that's why most master classes are always more than 50% having a workshop structure, because workshop involves, if you look at model one, the types of facilitators, workshop gets to involve a lot of work with the participants. Sometimes in workshop, the participants get to do maybe sometimes 60%, 70% of the work, and the trainer, the trainer, you are just facilitating. You are just, because a workshop, if people are not doing things hands-on, if there are no hands-on things, there are no activities, there are no like if the participants are not really involved in doing the work and building mastery, then it's not a workshop. Okay, so there is a big difference between these three, and the major difference is in the framework, the content, the delivery nature, and all of that. So, and whichever one you decide to do, it all depends on your objectives and the structure that you want to deliver in order to achieve your objectives, because all of these have different objectives. Like, for example, you can organize a seminar just to inform people and then direct them somewhere. Like, okay, they listen to the information, and then you tell them at the end, okay, now that you have heard, to take action, go on our website and register, meet our secretary and do this. That's a typical seminars get to end, right? Awesome. I hope you get some concept there. So, but the training that you're going through, and I want to note that, like I said in the training, in the recorded sessions, if you can be, if you are able, if you can train and become a good trainer, I can guarantee that you can become a good trainer in a seminar. You can speak in a conference, actually, and the more you build your mastery, you can start organizing your own master classes, right? Awesome. I hope that is detailed enough from a very practical perspective. Awesome. Lisa, can you hear us now?
Yes, Doctor. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening to everyone participating. It's a great privilege for me to be part of this live session. So I have a question with regards to Module 6,
Good.
where you talk about the 9 P's of workshop preparation. And it's on the 4th P that has to do with participation. Now, in an expert, you said that the level of participation would depend on the type of workshop. For instance, in an expert workshop, the trainer is the main source of information, like enlightening the participants, and they can be less participation on the side of the participants. So I wish to ask that for those of us who are actually starting, for instance, in a situation where a participant raises a challenging question, or maybe an aspect that you aren't really versed with or proficient to answer at the moment, how do you deal with such moments? Because maybe amongst your participants, you may have other people who are experts in the field too, who just want to build more knowledge.
Good, so definitely. Yes, let me tell you, you always have people in your audience who know more than you in one area or the other, right? And you are not God.
Yes.
Okay? Yes. You're a human being and you're limited. So know that, first of all, know that in your they will always put so that you are not you don't feel embarrassed, or you don't feel as if, or you keep feeling incompetent, or when somebody asks you a question that you cannot answer, you start feeling sad. No. All right, that's totally fine. We are humans, and that is understood. But that doesn't stop you. That doesn't stop you from studying hard to become the best in your field. But of course, there are certain basics, there are certain foundational stuff that if you claim that you're a professional in an industry, you should be able to know certain things, right? Your level of depthness, your level of insight and information should be way, way deeper. Because, and this one thing, always know this, please listen to me carefully. Anytime you stand in front of people to speak, do you know one thing in their minds? They believe that you know more than them. Okay, so and it's our, if you are getting into training, one thing that if you are getting into training and speaking and consulting and coaching, that is why these guys spend time to study a lot on a personal basis. Sometimes there's no day I study less than 4 to 5 hours, because you need to, because see, as long as people are seeking you and bringing their problems to you, it is your job to be a step ahead of the population. All right. Yeah. But so you need to learn to balance the two. Do your best at the utmost best to make sure that you are the best in your industry. But at the same time, it's okay for somebody to raise a question from the audience and you have no idea what they're talking about. And you can throw the question back to the audience and get people's perspective, or you can do further research, tell them, you get back to them, you do further research. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't reduce you as far as being a professional is concerned. All right. But do that confidently. Yes. And tell them that you're going to sort them out. I mean, it has happened to me a few times. I'll just say, okay, you know what? I have not heard about that theory. I've not heard about that principle, but I'm going to, oh, is there anybody in the audience who have heard about that and can share some thoughts on it? And sometimes people opt in the audience and they will share very brilliant thoughts, and you all learn from it. Or you can go do further research. Sometimes I'll tell you, okay, give me your email, or let's exchange numbers. I'll go find out and I'll get back to you with my thoughts and my conclusion on this matter. Okay, so that's totally fine. Even if you get you get the highest university professors in any sector, there are other principles and concepts that some other experts have written, yet implementing, and they're producing results that the professors have not seen. So it's fine. Don't never lose your low self-esteem, because many people get to lose their low self-esteem when that happens. They lose their confidence, they start feeling embarrassed. No, don't do that. Carry your head up high, find a way to sort it out, do further research, respond to the person, and do it brilliantly. Okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Awesome.
Please, I still have another question.
Yes, please shoot. We're here to answer questions. Don't leave here with any doubt. Yes.
With regards to the EREX format that was presented, still that's in module 5.
Yes.
So at the top of the format where we have before training design, yes, there is the training needs assessment.
Yes.
Now I just wish to inquire, because by the time you have an idea, you at this point before the training design, the module or the method of carrying out this training needs assessments, is it supposed to be in line with maybe a particular audience that you feel that the information that you want to get from the assessment is targeting, or just a general format that gives everybody the opportunity to respond to these things?
Ask a question again. I didn't really get it.
Okay, my question is, should a needs assessment be targeted towards a particular audience that you envisage working with, or just generally?
No, particular.
For instance, if you want
particular audience, it's easier.
Okay.
For example, if you're, for example, let's imagine that MTN asks to come and do a training for the sales department, right? That is an imagination. And so you don't have any business to go and start interviewing guys in the procurement department or logistics department, right? You can do your needs assessment just with the team in the sales department to now know. But you can only do a general needs assessment if the training is targeting the whole MTN. Then you can try to send a survey for all the staffs in all departments to fill, or for at least 40% of the staff to fill. So you're always doing your needs assessment, focusing purely on the people, because the need assessment is for you to identify the knowledge gap, the skill gap, or to identify the problems that they have and how your training can solve the problem. So the more tailored and more specific you are, the more impactful your need assessment will be, and the more relevant your training design and delivery will be. Okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Yes, Madam FATS, your hand is up. Shoot.
Hello, good evening, Doc, and good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
As a first-time person taking this kind of training, for a starter, how do you monetize your workshop sessions? Is it with reference to the structure that you built?
How do you monetize?
You monetize your workshop session first. The first
Oh,
time.
don't bother. There's a course on that. There's a course on that. We're gonna get there.
Okay.
You're gonna learn how to do that. Yes, it's very easy to do that, but lay the foundation first, because people get to struggle to monetize because they have missed certain concepts in the training framework. So as you start building these things, because you cannot be monetizing what you don't know how to package, right?
Exactly.
And part of these models are helping you to, like, for example, one of the best, let me tell you, for example, I never designed a flyer for an event that I've not developed the curriculum structure for it. Because for me to write out the sales copy or the advertising message that people can read and pay for the training, I need to know the in and out of the training and the impact of the training. And the only way to do that is training curriculum and the training structure. You understand?
Yeah.
Good. So you need to, that's why these first models, that's why that training on how to monetize is towards the last. Because if you know all the marketing strategies on how to monetize and you are weak in the foundation and the frameworks that makes you a core trainer, it's not going to help you in any way. So when you let me tell you something, as you begin to unfold, before you get there, you will even start discovering your own best ways that you can begin to monetize your experience and your knowledge as a trainer. Okay? So this is the core part that will solve part of the problem. Then we get there and then we tell you in your case.
Yes, another question, Doc. I want to find out how the companies, organizations choose an facilitators or choose their an expert to come and speak on a particular field or to train in a particular field.
Well, they know you. They could see you on the media. They could see you. People could, like, I have companies who have reached out to me because they saw me on TV. I have companies that have reached out because they read about me on a magazine, a newspaper. I have companies that have contacted me because somebody recommended me. So they can come from anywhere. And all companies have their criteria. They have what they are looking for. Sometimes for some companies, they will just do in the staff meeting, oh, we want to organize this training coming up. And if you know a trainer in your network, please, can you recommend? You understand? So it can come basically from anywhere. So that's why the more positioned you are, and you're going to see a course on that, the more positioned you are, it makes it easier for them to find you. And it's your job to make sure that you position yourself where these people can find you. So different companies have there are some companies that they build a database of trainers. They have a database. Anytime they see a trainer, they take their name, take their email, take their number, and take their area of expertise and just keep it. Anytime they need something in your area, they reach out to you, they work with you, they ask for your invoice to send, and you guys agree, you get the work done. So you see, it's broad, it's very broad. Each company has their own model that they work with, but your job as a trainer is to use media. The more you know how to use media to do your positioning, the more chances you have to get training gigs from various companies. And we are going to see that. So.
Very good. Thank you.
Good. Yes, Lisa, go ahead.
Okay, thank you once more, Doc. I wish to find out, this question is just in regards to Module 4, where we discuss the elements of a great workshop trainer and facilitator.
Yes.
Now, I've attended a workshop where one of the participants was very impulsive and kind of obstructing to the activities of the workshop. So how do you enforce discipline in a workshop setting?
Awesome. Now, let me tell you something. I think I mentioned in one of the modules. As a workshop trainer, please always see yourself as a leader. Sometimes when I go to a workshop, I'll introduce myself and say, in this workshop at the moment, I am the head boy. I am the CEO of this workshop. So anything that happens here, I need to validate it, right? So sometimes you need to, and you can find a way to make, because there are some guys in workshops that they will try to claim that they are stubborn and, you know, they are, they are big guys and all of that. And they'll try to minimize you. Like that, people like me who have very small sizes. So when you go to workshops where there are big powers with beard, they'll start feeling intimidated. They'll start feeling that, who is this boy to teach me? You understand? So, and that happens. It happens. So, one thing I learned to do is that I always learn to use I created several intimidating introductions so that people know that, hey, I know what I'm doing, and I'm coming prepared for you. So, but not in a disrespectful way, but in a subtle way that you send a message. Let them not see you shaking. And also, please be careful how you. I think many of you are still go to the session on how to introduce a workshop, how to start a workshop. Please be careful how you start a workshop. If you start a workshop shaking, and looking intimidated and low self-esteem, you are finished. Some people will make your life hell. Okay? So please, always how you walk into the workshop is important. How the first few statements, the first few words, very important. How you dress, very important. Everything at the beginning is very important, especially if you are listening to me and you are summarized in nature. Maybe people that are taller and have you know, they have more, you know, let me say, use the word, not bigger, but no, they have the skin, right? That intimidating height and size is easier for them. But let me I had this challenge a lot because I'm always the smallest almost in the hall, right? So I had to learn now how to use my other style of how you introduce yourself and start your sessions and all of that, and avoid starting by fumbling. That's why, of course, trainers are experts. So don't avoid starting your workshop by fumbling and messing up words and say, you know, we are planning, you're already anxious and all of that. No, avoid those things, because those things will make people who have bullying nature in them to know, oh, this is my puppet. And they will teach you a lesson. They will ask questions. They will go on Google and look for very difficult questions just to mess up your life and embarrass you, because they have seen the chance to do that. Okay, so always be open-minded. But if you start your workshop the right way, you started with as a professional and send a strong message that you're an expert, you know what you're doing, you're not messing up and all of that, good. But again, there are some people, like I said, there are some people that you need to go through the process. There are some people that you can ask them politely to be respectful and all of that. And that's where also setting workshop rules come in. And we spoke about it in one of the sessions. Always set workshop rules with the participants. Let everybody agree that these are the ground rules in this workshop, so that it's binding everybody. Okay? Or sometimes if it gets so intimidating, you can call them aside and speak to them. Ask them a person, is there something wrong? Why are you doing this? Can we come to an agreement that you stop this? It's not healthy for the participants and it's distracting you as a trainer. To some point, if it's serious, if you are invited, you can involve the hierarchy. Or if it's your training and you are the organizer of that event, if it's serious, you can send the person out. If the person is distracting you and distracting the participants unnecessarily, you need to be the leader in that case. But it is in rare cases where, personally for me, I have never had the point where I need to send somebody out from the training. But I've had guys who are trying to show that they are men, you know, they just want to mess me up. But when you understand, sometimes one guy had to just talk to the person one-on-one, and I had to clearly tell him that, look, if this intensifies, I'm going to ask you to leave. And that's how he died out. And for some people, what happened was that since we laid down the ground rules, it was the other participants that stood up and warned the person that the person stopped, right? So there are many ways I can handle this kind of situation. Just make sure that you have all your or all these plans in place that you can use anytime you have a case like that. Okay?
Thank you so much, sir.
Awesome. Good. Yes, Mama Dora, your hand is up.
Yes, my hand is up.
Okay, go ahead.
I've just been listening and I'm wondering whether you should not boost up the courses with something on the art of public speaking, because all of that depends on, because when you stand in front of people, what you say matters, how you carry yourself matters, everything around you matters. So I was just, as I'm listening to the participants, I'm wondering whether you should not chip in something on the art of public speaking. Sorry.
There are a couple of stuff on public speaking. As you go, you see a couple of tips on
Okay.
public speaking that can help you as a trainer. But public speaking on its own as a career is not is also something almost like 20-something models that will need to do that. But in the model as you go through, you will see some tips on how to handle the crowd, carry yourself, speak, look good, and all of that in the models ahead. Yes.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Good.
Thank you.
Yes. Madam Efiti, your hand is up. Go ahead. Oh, wow.
Yes,
Almost 1 hour already. That's serious. Yes.
One of the principles you talked about as a workshop facilitator is to be inclusive and sensitive.
It's to be, your network is not so good. Repeat it again, please.
You said one of the principles of a workshop facilitator is to be able to be inclusive and sensitive as well.
Yes.
Yes. How do you attain your objective as a facilitator if you're training people who come from different backgrounds, come from different stages, like maybe it's an inclusive kind of workshop? How do you manage to attain your objective for them to understand at the same level what you're trying to bring in as an objective?
One thing is that as long as there's more than one human being in your workshop, that's already diversity, right? So, and of course, you already start attaining your objective by how you're promoting the workshop, because every training and every workshop has criteria, right? Requirements. Like, for example, this workshop or this training we're having right now is for people who desire to be professional trainers. That already is creating a platform where everybody, if you are coming, it means that you command a certain level of understanding, education, passion, and all of that. So it already starts helping you to achieve your objective. That is why if you just do a workshop and just say, please, people who want to come attend workshop, now you're going to mess up there. You get a difference? So your workshop structuring, your workshop design, your workshop requirements, your registration process, that is part of you indirectly answering that your question that you just raised.
Okay.
Yes, because if you just say everybody come, you see the young, the old, the days, and the all of that. But if you design a workshop and you begin to put requirements that, okay, this workshop is for people that are passionate about training. This workshop is for people that must have at least advanced level and above. This workshop is for people who must have access to laptop and the internet. You see, that is you already creating that platform. And if people, we are all here right now. We are from different religions, we are from different families, different villages, different countries. That is diversity. But we are all inclusive because at the beginning, we all had criteria that brought people on a common ground. But again, during the session itself, it is your job to be sensitive. You may notice that, like for example, I have done many workshops and I had to create 15 minutes break for the Muslims to go pray. That's inclusivity. You understand? Because it's very important to them. If I don't create that time, they will still leave and go pray. And if they leave and go pray and I continue training, it doesn't make sense. Right? So that's not me now on site. And that even taught me that sometimes I'm doing trainings, I now need to put, if you're a must, like if unless I'm doing training in a hotel sometimes, and it's a training that people need to sleep over, what I like to call residential training. So I will need to ask the hotel, do they have a place where they can prepare for people to pray in? Muslims to pray during the day, and I'll request for it duly because I've paid for the space. You understand? And that is part of the process of you being inclusive and accommodating people as much as possible. So it starts from from your training design to structuring, and then within the training, you are also sensitive and you adapt as much as possible.
Definitely. Okay.
Good.
Wow, thank you.
Yes, Prosper. Madam Prosper, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Doc. I'm Prosper Malo. I'm very excited to be part of this training.
Awesome.
Doc, I just wanted to find out, as a good trainer, do you need to have event planning skills?
Yes, it's going to help you. Events planning skills will definitely help you because, for example, if except you have the money, right? If you have, except you have the money to pay for event planners, you will need, because to plan events is a skill. Like, for example, to promote the event, to know when to design flyers, to know how to share the flyers, to know how to get the hotel in the right location, get the sound, get all the things you need to get. These are skills that you need to learn. For me personally, I learned them on the job, because many of us started when we didn't have all the money to pay the experts. It's the same of many of you. Sometimes the only person you may need to pay in your planning and preparation stage will be maybe the graphic designer. The rest you have to do it for yourself. You have to go to the hotel to pay, look at the hall, look at the chairs, look at the sound, sort all those things till the event day when the participants are coming. You're doing the communication and all of that. So yes, you need to have the skills because you are always, like for me, I've organized almost 1,000+ events, right? So you need to learn how to do that. Sometimes it gets now more difficult in a foreign country because if you are not based in that country, you don't understand logistics. You don't understand, like my first event that I did in Dubai. There are many things I didn't know about the Dubai terrain when I was doing my first ever event in Dubai, right? But I did most of the things that I used to do in Cameroon, but I had to start asking for advice, and I talked to guys, okay, how do you do this here? How do you do this here? How do you do this here? And all of that. At some point, I had to pay some things for an event organizer to do them for me, right? But at the beginning, since most of us were doing small scale events, you can do them on your own. Or you just need to, if you're looking for a venue, go to a hotel and look for a venue and pay for it. Or you can beg your church and use it, or arrange the chairs into a seminar sitting, a workshop sitting, not a church sitting. You just need to use your curiosity and use your initiative and fix things as much as you can. If you want to hire a cameraman, call for one, tell them your kind of pictures that you want, tell them the corners they should take. That is your job to do that. So you must be creative enough to do that. But again, if you have money to do that, you can pay an event organizer so that they can take, because organizing is crazy, right? Sometimes you organize and you're at 12 a.m. in the night. Meanwhile, you'll be training the next morning. Like personally for me, when I'm doing large events in Cameroon, sometimes at 1 a.m. in the night, I'm still running up and down, trying to sort things out here and there and all of that. Then before you rest and get ready to train, and you need to come to the hall early to make sure that everything is fine. But those are things that if you have the money, an event organizer sort them out for you, and you just come and see the event and begin to speak. All right. So it's a skill that is good to have, and you learn in the process per se. But if you can take, the good news is that you can go on the internet or like on YouTube, and you can type how to organize a seminar, how to organize an event, and all of that. Just learn some stuff that you can begin to do, and they are going to help you big time to do that. And if you have ever got, I always tell people for something funny. Yeah, if you have ever organized a birthday, you have ever organized a baby shower, you have ever organized a wedding, you have ever organized anything at home, that you have event organizing skill. It's almost the same thing. The difference is just the location and additional logistics per se. It's just like you should know how to manage pressure, know how to think in different directions, and have a list of the things that you need, know where you can find them, know who you can call and ask for help and all of that, and you're good to go. Hope your question is answered.
Yes, doctor. Thank you very much.
Awesome. I can get one last question. Any last question? Yes, Lisa, go ahead.
Thank you again, Doctor. Please, my question is with regards to the tool sets, because in Module 3, one of the elements necessary for creating innovative change is a tool set.
Yes.
And we are supposed to design tools that can be used within and after the workshop.
Yes.
Now, my question is, are these tools, how do you protect your personal tools? Because is it allowed that the tools that you hand can be used by other people in their workshops, or there is some protection, or there is a restriction on the tools that are designed particularly by a trainer or a workshop?
Yes, in a country like Cameroon, it's easier for somebody to steal your tool and use because it's not protected. In the US, it's very, if you do that, and you can be arrested, or somebody can report you and you can get paid. So people only do that on this side of the continent because they know that if you discover it, you can do that. But in a country where it's difficult to people understand things, people can steal your tool. People can take your tool, remove your letterhead, remove your contacts, and put theirs and do that. But of course, one thing about tools is that if you know how to create. I've seen my tool somewhere and I've confronted people, right? So that they'll be shy and all of that because I know what I've created. So because not everybody can create per se. But always do your best to, like for me, when any of my tools are going out, I always convert them to PDF at least to prevent certain things from happening and all of that. So that to a certain extent, there are certain things that you cannot really protect because it's as long as it's online and people can download and people can edit, people can use softwares and do that. So people cannot, to a certain extent, protection of soft copy material is still very, very difficult, okay? Except you can stumble on it where you have seen somebody using your tool without due permission or without paying for the services to use the tool, and you can decide and confront the person or take the person to court if you can do that, right? But always do your best to protect it, still put your information, put your stuff. You can put, sometimes what I do is that I put my logo behind the, like, how do they call it, watermark and all of that to prevent, except somebody who is a very highly skilled person before they can know how to, convert from PDF to Word and then remove the stuff and all of that. So yeah, so just do your best and do the highest protection. However, there's still even PowerPoints, people steal PowerPoint. People have gone to different workshops and they see my PowerPoint being used by another person and they'll snap the picture and send to me, right? So at some point, those things just happen and there's nothing you can do about it. So personally for me, that's why I stopped sharing my PowerPoint to people in public. I used to share, when after training, I'll give my PowerPoint to people to go and use for personal use. But I noticed that people started using it publicly and claiming that it's their work and using it for to make money from it, right? You cannot use my creation and make money from me, and I'm not making money from it. I should get royalty from it normally because that's my hard work, right? So I stopped. So personally for me, I no longer share my PowerPoint in public with anybody. The only thing I can share is a free ebook I've written or a tool that I want to share to in public that I want. So but I still put my information there, should in case somebody sees and I want to contact me and all of that. But some evil people will still go and edit it and remove my information and use it for their own, which is fine because there's nothing I can do about it. Create more and move forward and find more clients, right? Make peace with that and move forward. That's what I always say. Yeah. All right. Madam Prosper, you have a question?
Yes.
Say, sorry?
Permit me to ask that question.
Oh, your network is not the best. I'm barely getting you.
Doc, please, wanted to find out particular topic that you are speaking, your hello. Is it better now?
I lost you. Yes.
Can you get me now, Doctor?
Yes, ask again.
Hello. Okay. I was asking that if for example, if I'm organizing an event now, let me say on capacity building, and I have different speakers coming in, maybe let's say about 4 of them, and I might not know their rates of their clearly objects, and then I have some that come and they are not able to deliver. What do I do like that?
No, well, I think if you invite a speaker.
Hello.
Are you getting me? I don't know if she's getting me.
Yes, please.
Okay.
I'm getting.
All right.
You very well.
One thing is that if you invite, if that happens, I think that you do not do your due diligence very well. So if you're inviting speakers for an event, it's always good for you to do your proper due diligence, right? And like, for example, let me give you examples how some companies do due diligence with me. Some companies reach out to me or event organizers, and they will request for any of my previous teachings. They will request for, maybe they've seen that I've written a book. They will request for a copy of my book. And let's say like there are some business events that they will request that I should send them some of my business details and even my bank statement to prove that I'm making money. You understand? Because a business, there are some people that they cannot expect to come and train people on business and money making if you are broke or you are not making money for yourself. You get a process. So that's part of due diligence. Whatever that, some people ask for pictures. Can you send us 2 pictures of you on stage? They want to see you on stage actually leading a session. All right. Some people will ask you, can you send a 1-page introduction of what you will be talking about? So, because there are certain things that if somebody can do, you can rate if they are expert or not, and if they can deliver. All right. So taking time to duly research on people, and not only researching, you can request for certain things, because it's also sad if you organize an event and people have paid for the event and you bring experts who cannot deliver. Your participant may get angry with you. They may rate you very low. They may never come for your next event. So always learn to do proper due diligence and ask further questions before you bring people to speak in your event. Okay? All right. All right, everybody. That is it for today. We will have we announced in the group, we'll have our next live session. As you proceed with the models, please take down questions. And as you go to the models, remember that these are practical sessions. What does that mean? As you listen to anything, begin to think, how do I practice this? How do I implement this? How do I make this work on a daily basis as a trainer in the work that I desire you desire to do? Okay, right, we stay in touch. Take care of yourselves and see you in the WhatsApp group chat.